But what was interesting to me about him was he had 3 Michelin stars and he was still trying to learn to get better.
I feel like it was like that for a lot of us. It's easier for me than it was for Tom because I wasn't playing a character that had already existed in the previous film.
Hey guys, Eileen here. Let's talk about Rachel Zegler. You know, the actress who was supposed to be Disney's next big star. She had it all: the voice, the talent, and a golden opportunity to become the face of Snow White, Disney's Og fairy tale. This could have been a career-defining moment, but oh boy, 2025 had other plans. Instead of skyrocketing to fame, Rachel's rise quickly turned into a nosedive thanks to fan backlash, internet outrage, and let's be honest, her own woke meltdown. Yep, that's what the insiders are calling it. The same audience that once cheered for her is now dragging her into a spiral of irrelevance. And Disney? Well, they're scrambling to save both the movie and Rachel's reputation. But the more they try, the worse it gets. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash. Here's how it all went down. Disney announced yet another live-action remake of Snow White. Fans weren't exactly thrilled. But hey, they survived Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid. So what's one more, right? But this wasn't just any fairy tale, it's the fairy tale that started it all back in 1937. The studio promised a modern twist. No Prince Charming to save the day, no passive princess vibes. Snow White would be a strong, independent heroine for a new generation. Sounds good, right? But then Rachel Zegler stepped in front of a mic, and let's just say things got messy. At first, she called the original Snow White dated and irrelevant. Okay, not the best take, but whatever, people moved on. Except Rachel didn't stop there. She doubled down, calling the 1937 classic boring, criticizing Snow White as a passive damsel, and basically implying the original wasn't worth respecting. Yikes, that did not sit well with fans, especially the die-hard Disney lovers. What was supposed to be a chance to celebrate the legacy turned into a battleground, and Rachel's snarky comments were like pouring gasoline on a fire. Now, Disney's scrambling to fix the PR disaster, but it's looking more and more like a lost cause. And Rachel? She's caught in the middle, paying the steepest price for what could have been her big break. Now, speaking of Disney fandoms, I've got to tell you, after years of waiting, I finally got to go to D23. Living on the East Coast, it always felt impossible. The tickets sell out in seconds, and the logistics are a nightmare. But this time it happened. My mom, the ultimate Disney fan and the reason I'm obsessed with all things Disney, was so jealous. We were both over the moon. But speaking of Disney fandoms, Rachel Zegler didn't exactly win them over. Fans can tolerate some tweaks too. Classic fairy tale tropes, fresh perspectives, and empowerment, all good stuff. But Rachel's approach? Oof. She didn't just critique the original Snow White, she acted like it was some dusty old relic from the attic, and she was here to save it. Her tone came off as dismissive, and the internet pounced hard. Clips from her interviews started flooding social media with captions like, "The new Snow White thinks the old one is garbage." Fans even put together supercuts of her eye rolls and snarky comments about respecting the classic, and boom, boycott Snow White started trending. Outraged fans accused her of disrespecting a masterpiece that's been beloved for almost a century. And you'd think, okay, rough start time for damage control, right? Nope. Rachel kept doing interviews, and each one seemed more inflammatory than the last. Disney's marketing team, total nightmare mode. Normally, you'd hype up a big budget film by promoting its visuals, charming audiences with the lead star, and leaning into nostalgia. But how do you sell a movie when your lead actress is out here bashing the very nostalgia you're trying to sell? It wasn't long before people started calling it a full-on woke meltdown. Fans who were already wary of these modern updates saw Rachel as the poster child for Hollywood arrogance, tearing down the classics just to score points about progress. Even those who wanted a more empowered Snow White started feeling turned off by her tone. Rachel wasn't just at the center of the controversy, she became the controversy. Suddenly, the question wasn't whether she'd be the next Disney icon. It was whether she'd torpedoed her own career with her aggressive stance. Then, the leak started. Oh boy, rumors swirled that Disney had scrapped the classic Seven Dwarfs altogether. Some claimed they'd been replaced by mystical woodland creatures. Others said they were now just a diverse group of random travelers. Whatever the truth, fans were not happy. And don't even get me started on the ballooning budget over $300 million, thanks to endless rewrites and drastic changes. According to insiders, even people who were excited for a fresh take started questioning why Disney didn't just create a brand new fairy tale to champion modern values instead of dismantling the legacy of Snow White. The backlash was deafening. What started as a bold reimagining had turned into a cautionary tale about what happens when you alienate your core audience. And Rachel? Well, she was paying the steepest price. Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler's public image was taking a serious hit. This was the same person who had once been hyped as the next breakout star, fresh off a high-profile musical adaptation that had everyone talking. But now, her shine was fading faster than anyone could have predicted. Film gossip accounts were buzzing openly, questioning if Rachel would ever headline a box office hit again or if she was doomed to become an industry pariah. Some even compared her to Katherine Heigl, who famously got blacklisted after criticizing her own projects. But here's the kicker. While Heigl's downfall was tied to award drama and script quality, Rachel's was seen as a full-on scorn of an entire fandom's cherished memories. And that's a whole different level of controversy. Desperate to turn things around, Disney reworked their marketing strategy. They pivoted to focus on the enchanted romance of the new Snow White. Nice try, but fans weren't buying it.
It was so fun. Oh my god, as a huge Disney fan, it was so exciting to finally get to go to D23.
Yeah.
I live on the East Coast, so I was never able to go, and also tickets sell out like in a flash. So it was so exciting to go, and my mom was super jealous because my mom is the reason I'm a Disney.
When the official trailer dropped, things went from bad to worse. Rachel's delivery in the trailer felt off, like she wasn't channeling the Snow White fans adored. The backlash was swift. Thumbs down icons flooded the comments, brutal YouTube rants, and scathing remarks came pouring in. The more Disney tried to frame this as a must-see event, the more audiences felt like they were being force-fed something they didn't even want. Then came whispers from supposed test screenings. Oh boy, it wasn't pretty. What started as a bold